Hey, so do you want to find out what is the ultimate all-in-one toolset for Amazon sellers? Well, we've put our toolset, ZonGuru, to the test in a head-to-head comparison against Sellics. That's right, it's an entire platform comparison. So you can jump ahead at any stage if there's a particular feature that's really important to you. But we're going to cover everything from product research and validation, keywords and listing optimization, understanding your business metrics. We've got our customer engagement tools, our alert features, as well as those softer skills like what support and training you can expect and the all-important cost, or should I say value. So join me as we jump into the tools and take a look. So let's take a look at product research and validation. And normally this would be quite a big section, but my job has been made super easy because Sellics just doesn't cover it. That's right. So if you're just starting out or even an experienced seller wanting to expand their catalog, they have zero tools to help you with this. So let's jump into the ZonGuru offering. As you can see under the product research menu, there's actually 5 different tools, and each one is super important to finding and validating that niche. I'll quickly run through a few of my favorites. The first one is Niche Finder, and it does exactly as its name suggests. There's an easy mode and an advanced mode. In the advanced mode, you can completely customize what you're looking for in a niche and even set things like the launch budget, which is super cool and a massive time saver. As you can see, there's hundreds of niche results that appear, and when you drill down into them, you can have access to every available metric that you could possibly need, along with visuals, which is super helpful to help you work out if it's a category that you can differentiate yourself within. But not only that, there's things like the Chrome extension, which runs in tandem with the Amazon platform, and it will tell you as you search what the search volume is, the monthly sales, as well as individual listing data. Everything is right there. If I move back onto the platform, there's things like Sales Spike, which looks at the historical sales trends. So you can see the seasonality of a product. Love Hate, which data mines thousands of reviews with a click of a button, so you can work out exactly what customers like and don't like. And Easy Source, which is also one of my personal favorites and helps connect you with suppliers with a few quick clicks of a button, and you're connected with everything you could possibly want to know about your next manufacturing company. So it's simple. ZonGuru has this covered from start to finish, whereas Sellics just doesn't have anything. All right, let's take a look at keyword research and listing optimization. So firstly, Sellics does provide a keyword tool. It's called Keyword Research. And what you can do is simply enter in your search term, generate suggestions, and a few moments later, they'll give you a list of suggested keywords. Now, as you can see, the data is super limited. You're given a scale between 1 and 5 of the keyword's relevance, but I just want to point out a few crucial things. I had absolutely no control over what ASNs this data was pulled from. It's going from this seed keyword. And I've also got no underlying metric that is making up this keyword index. So what I'm noticing as well is that a lot of the results don't seem very relevant to my keyword, although it's telling me that it is. So I've already lost a little bit of confidence in this tool. I've got no data. I have no access to things like the PPC bid cost. I don't know what kind of revenue these keywords are driving, what the competition's like. I'm really flying blind, and it makes for a frustrating tool. If I jump over into ZonGuru's keyword offering, it's called Keywords on Fire. It's arguably the most powerful tool in the whole tool set. And as you can see, for the same search phrase, yoga mat, the keywords that are generated, not only does there appear to be a lot more, but there's so much more relevant. So there's not a capri pant keyword in sight here. And it's also giving me data and lots of it. So really important things like the keyword dollar, the search volume. I've actually got the underlying metric here. I'm not relying on a graph. I've got the figure. I can also see if the top 3 competitors are stealing those clicks or conversions, and even a visual representation of where my competitors are ranked for. Now that's important. I've got full control over what ASNs these keywords are pulling from, so I can make sure that I'm only looking at relevant listings, only getting relevant keywords. Remember, keywords are king. They determine the quality of your listing, and you want to make sure you get it right. I could go on about the difference in these keyword tools forever, but let's just leave it there and jump over into the listing optimizer section. So looking at listing optimization, this is the Sellics offering, and basically it's a table underneath the listing copy showing your keyword. Again, that search volume metric, I don't find that helpful at all. Your current ranking position for the keyword. Now, ranking data is great and Sellics focuses on this quite heavily, but it can be frustrating if you're just starting out or it's a brand new listing because this will not be relevant to you. But the table does show you where the keyword is contained and whether it's title or bullet points. There is a competition tab which lets you compare multiple competitor listings to see if they are ranking for the keyword and again where their ranking position is. But it does fall short on some of the really obvious things. Again, I really want to see the underlying metric there, and it would be nice to have an overall optimization score or something to guide me in that process. So if I move over to ZonGuru's offering, we've got our listing optimizer tool, and you can see that the keywords pre-fill here with real metrics, so I am fully informed at all times about which keywords are more important to my listing. I can pull in up to 8 different competitor listings as well, and that's what this column is all about. It will tell me how many of the competitors I've pulled in are using these keywords, and of course whereabouts in my listing it's contained. So you do want to see a whole heap of stars and ticks here. The completed star means that it's exact match in the title. The empty star means that it's a broad match in the title, and a tick it's contained elsewhere in your listing. So it's a really quick visual representation of how you're going. But more than anything, these scores here are super important and so handy. So you're given an optimization score, which is your overall guide to the strength of your listing. Not only that, each of your competitors have one as well, so you can see exactly how well you stack up at all times, as well as how optimized your listing is for search volume and combined revenue. So you've got all the metrics there, everything you need to know. And with a quick click of a button, you can push this across to Seller Central. It's that easy. Right, let's talk about those business metrics, understanding your numbers. And I feel like this is where Sellics gets serious. They really do try to deliver a great platform here in terms of visuals, KPIs front and center. All the graphs are fully customizable, and they've even got the ability to drill into a product's individual profit and loss details and metrics, which is super cool. A couple of things that they don't quite nail. You can't look at multiple marketplaces at once globally. So for example, if you're selling in the US and the UK, you can't view all your data at once. Another thing, they don't support Australia. You also can't export the profit and loss. So if you're after a handy, concise report to give your accountant at tax time, this platform's not going to do it. What they do have is a PPC manager and great functionality in terms of the visuals you can customize to the way you like it. If I move over to ZonGuru's offering, this is the business dashboard. As you can see, similar sort of situation in terms of all your KPIs front and center, a fully customizable graph. The profit here is shown in numbers, which I actually prefer, and you can download this in a really clear report when you need it. So that's really handy. The other thing you can do is look at all markets, including Australia. There's also handy inventory supply alerts and sales breakdowns. Although Sellics does have an inventory add-on, it's not contained in their dashboard. So you need to navigate to another tool set for that. So if you're wanting everything in one spot, I think ZonGuru's got it nailed and really goes the extra to find out those details that are important to sellers. All right, let's have a look at the alert options each platform provides. Now, alerts are very important. I can't stress them enough. So you want them working day and night for you to make sure you're up to speed to any critical listing changes. Not just to your own listing, but also your competitors. So if we have a look at Sellics offering, there are 2 alert options, one for hijackers and one for product reviews. You can toggle them on and off as well as when you want to receive the alerts, but it just doesn't cut it. There are so many more crucial listing events that can occur that this tool doesn't cover, and I really wouldn't feel comfortable relying on these 2 alone. Just to give you a comparison, the key alert tool from ZonGuru is called Product Pulse. And if we drill down into the alert options, you can see there are so many events here. Things like images, title, dimensions, weight. Some of these can have a really big impact on the bottom line. So you want to make sure that you've got that covered. Now you can toggle the events on and off, so you're only tracking the ones that are important to you. And of course you can also track competitor listings. It will show you the old value as well as the new. And a super cool feature is the ability to show the event on your business dashboard graph. So for example, if a competitor suddenly changes their price, you will be notified of this on your business dashboard and you can see the direct impact it has on your own sales. It's super cool. All right, time to talk about customer communication. Now, this is going to be a quick one as well because again, Sellics just doesn't cover it. They do have a review button which is designed to capture those reviews customers leave, and for example, if a negative one is received, you've got the opportunity to respond publicly and comment. In my opinion, this is too late. It's after the fact communication, and it doesn't add any additional functionality that you can't already do directly on the Amazon website. So moving over to ZonGuru, there's two offerings. We've got Review Automator, which sits within the Amazon Seller Central platform, and it delivers a terms of service compliant review request at a push of a button. It's also smart enough to recognize when a review is pending or refunded, and it makes sure not to send the review request to those buyers. We've also got Email Automator. Now this is where it gets super interesting and you can customize it to your heart's content. There's some really cool features here, so you can hone in on the marketplace and make sure that your language is specific to the buyers in that region. For example, if you're selling a barbecue or a grill, you customize your messaging to suit the marketplace you're selling in. It's really clever. You've also got the opportunity to use quick placeholders for easy formatting, and of course you've got all the other options here to really make sure that your messaging is spot on. You've got the ability to see which emails have been sent, the open rate, and which ones are pending. It's super user friendly and it's a really powerful tool to increase those ratings. What kind of training and support can you expect from each platform? It can really be make or break, especially for those researchers out there just starting out, to have access to a team of experienced sellers and the help when they need it. Now, just like their platform offerings, the training offerings by Sellics and ZonGuru differ immensely. So Sellics is focused very heavily towards PPC and ranking optimization. This is great for experienced sellers, but it's no good for those just starting out and wanting help with product research. On the flip side, ZonGuru offers targeted training through live webinars and Q&A each week for all levels of sellers, everything from product researching to advanced PPC techniques. Now, they both offer live chat support as well, although it might be a bit of a stretch to use the word live for Sellics because it did take in excess of 12 hours for a response. All right, so now it's time to talk about the all-important cost, or should I say value, because you want a value-driven platform. Now, there's a few things I would like to point out about Sellics. Firstly, they do offer a 14-day trial, which is a really nice time period to gauge the quality of their tools. Secondly, and this is something I haven't seen with other platforms, is that their pricing scales with your turnover. That's right. So if I'm a seller with $1,000 to $60,000 in sales, the monthly plans start from $67 with discounts for 6-month and 12-month options. But when my sales scale up, so do my plan costs. So you can see it now jumps to $67, and as I continue, that jumps up again. The other thing I want to point out is if you sell in multiple regions using different Seller Central logins, which is quite common, you need a new plan for each login. Although they do offer a 20% discount, that can add up very quickly, especially for those high sales sellers out there. Alternatively, with ZonGuru, we have a researcher plan and a seller plan. Our researcher plans start from $39 a month, and also there's considerable discounts on there for our annual subscribers. With our seller plans, they start from $49 per month, again with annual subscriber discounts available, and it scales up as you scale up your SKUs. It's a very flexible option that offers incredible value and all the tools you need for each category of your journey. Keep in mind, Sellics doesn't cover researchers. Okay, so the final verdict. Now, if you've watched all the sections up until now, you'll know it's very obvious that Sellics just isn't an all-in-one platform. They don't cover key areas like product research. There is no assistance with locating suppliers. Their keyword tools are very limited. There are so many gaps in their offering, even for sellers with things like the alert options and the customer engagement tools. they've dropped the ball on so many key categories, they just simply aren't an all-in-one platform. Whereas ZonGuru offers everything for each phase of the Amazon journey, from the very start right through to the very end. So it's a no-brainer. ZonGuru comes out on top, and we'd love you to try out our tools for yourself with a 7-day free trial. And of course, if you want more great content from ZonGuru, just hit the subscribe button below.